Welcome to episode 1 of Beyond Zero's podcast. Coming up.
Batho mamodimo ra go bua leng taba ya gore di MSM le tsone di batla go tloboziwa.
And then this other old guy understand intoni le why umuntu engalali umuntu mama umuntu tata the demon into zofuna ubulawa is.
Hi Auntie Lebo, I'm a very big fan of you from social media. I really like queer people. I'm talking about a 7 or 6 year old. MSM has always been there. Just that it has been discreet, it has been, the people have been called after 9. It is a very common term.
Why when Akona Westabani, when we are at Buddha's place, Eloksin, when we are drunk, you come up to me, you know that I'm straight, but then you want to live with me.
And also, if the society could stop being judgmental, I think a lot of things could surface.
So that was a fun how to know we're gonna
Shag.
yeah.
So how about the gates the innocent they have a fun ba go target about today o tla rekela 2 kilo mo giver I go mo giver o tla nigga wa bona ke problem. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, boys and girls, loves and love zorobobo ragataka tete ragata.
Today we'll be discussing barriers and enablers to accessing healthcare with Lebo Molax.
The Me First program makes a significant impact on the health and well-being of men who have sex with other men. MSM. This program provides comprehensive health support designed specifically to offer a safe, friendly, and non-discriminatory environment where individuals can access high-quality confidential health care. Me First also integrates human rights into their services. Recognizing the need for a helpline, we introduced the Beyond Zero Key Population Helpline, where key populations, including the MSM, of course, can call and get confidential support whenever they need it the most. Today, we are discussing barriers and enablers for health service uptake, being it TB screening, treatment, and referral. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, boys and girls, gays and lesbians, bis and trans, dumelang sanibonani. Welcome to the first episode. We will be discussing MSM things, MSM details, MSM information. La yitsi, la noa. Ere ba introduce re khone gore ra tlhatle khanye le khone gore le lone le ikutlwe le ka tsa lona di tsebe. Abuti wena kwena mang?
Modise Matlala from Bochabela, Bloemfontein.
Sithembele Ngcubundwana all the way from the Eastern Cape.
I'm Akona Komeni. I'm from Me First and Free State Rainbow Seeds. Free State Rainbow Seeds implements the program of Me First here in Mangaung.
All right, Akona will be our interventionist. So, gompieno jana re tlo go bua le di MSM ba re tlhalosetse ebile re kgone gore re rutane gore go diragala eng ga re bua ka MSM re bua ka eng ene le gore which services can they get and where. Batho mamodimo la tlhaloganya gore MSM e ra eng.
Yeah, we are well aware of it.
You are well aware of it. How can you describe MSM?
I would describe MSM as a man who has sex with other men, but they're not gay.
But they are not gay.
They're not gay. They just enjoy the sexual activities with other men.
Great. Do you know of any institution in South Africa, particularly perhaps in the Free State, it is providing any kind of service to MSM?
I would basically say I know of Free State Rainbow Seeds.
Okay.
They do provide services as testing services. They do provide counseling. They basically support us psychosocially and biomedically.
Great. Do you know of any institutions that are rendering any service towards MSM? This is now because you mentioned Khoro Utako Eastern Cape, right?
Yes.
Which is very, for me, it's a highlight because remove Bloemfontein. Marke bata go itse gore ko Eastern Cape ko tswanteng. Are such services la itse ka tsone na?
Well, asazi ngazo. Ka nami ndizaze xa ndifika eBloemfontein.
You only knew when you came to Bloemfontein.
Yes.
All right. And which institution did you know of?
Free State Rainbow Seeds.
Free State Rainbow Seeds.
Yes.
Great. Okay. Akona ke batla go itse gore ke eng se ileng gore la se ira to make sure that you are protecting the confidentiality ya MSM because go le gontsi MSM are afraid to come forth. They are very discreet, and in fact, they don't want to be labeled. We call them MSM because they are actually men who sleep with other men. However, if you call them gay or if you call them bisexual, they don't want that because they still identify as straight. So basically, they don't want people to know that they are sleeping with other men. So is there any way that you are protecting them, but also any way that you are providing healthcare services to these kind of people?
Remember in my introduction level, I did indicate that I'm also from First Aid Rainbow Seeds, and we're implementing the MIFES program here in Mangaung. So there's a dedicated team on the ground that consists of peer educators and also our clinical staff, that is our professional nurses, and also psychosocial support, and also we have our human rights defenders. So these teams work in unison to try and help the MSM holistically so that they are able to provide health services. If their human rights are being violated, then we're able to intervene, and then we're able to make referrals in terms of taking them to the facilities or even bringing them to this facility whereby they are able to access secondary health services. So we have a dedicated team on the ground that is well trained, that is able to deal and interact with MSM so that they are able to provide health and safe spaces for them.
Okay. What would you guys identify as barriers? Barriers meaning, obviously, I think you know the term barriers. Perhaps gore ba ka fitlhella thuso e leng gore ba e tlhoka, particularly health, particularly mo leng gore you know ba tlhoka tsone di testing, ba tlhoka di condom perhaps, or any other health services. Ke di barriers tse feng tse leng gore they are existing and they make it so difficult for MSM to reach or rather access these services.
I would basically say stigma. The stigma that is roaming around in our community, in our environment. It's difficult as an MSM to come out and say you're an MSM to people. And remember, we are coming from traditional families. So those traditional families, they don't believe in that. We grew up in families where we know, okay, if you are a man, you must have a girlfriend or a wife. So we cannot access that. I would say it's stigma. The stigma of saying, okay, now you're a man, you're not supposed to be dating other men or sleeping with other men. Yeah.
Great. What would you think? Do you think there are barriers perhaps that are really blocking or stopping people from accessing healthcare services?
Yeah, as I already said, I won't say much because it's too young to be friend teacher. But I feel like as a tuber, siyajajwa when you go to the clinics,
Being judged.
Sijongela phansi, kuthi umuntu umfana uthini lo lana nabanye abafana. Bapha amantombazana, that thing isahleli.
Great. And then this judgment, would you say it's coming from a specific gender? Would you say it's female nurses, or would you say it's males? I don't know. I'm sorry. I just wanna I wanna dissect it because it could be that men are more understanding. I don't know, but it could, or it could be that women are more understanding. You understand? Do you think judgment is equal from both gender?
It is equal. So it is equal, very equal.
It is equal.
Yes.
So it's not like women are more understanding and welcoming.
Yes.
Okay, great. Akwana, barriers. Do you still believe that even in the years that you've been working with Rainbow Seeds, you've tried your level best to provide the best high quality healthcare services? Do you still feel like maybe perhaps there are barriers? When you put yourself now in the shoes of MSM or as a client, not as a person who's providing the service.
There are still barriers, even though there are inroads that we have made as an organization, as First Aid Rainbow Seeds, in terms of sensitizing healthcare facilities so that they are able to be more welcoming of MSMs. They are not judgmental. There are no perceptions, because it's one of the things that we've experienced in the past, whereby we'll get an MSM client, for instance, taking up PrEP with us the first time. And then for their first visit at the facility, when they are supposed to go and get it from there, then there are these uncomfortable questions that are being asked, and then somewhat they get demoralized. No, let me rather leave this. I'm not going to come here and be questioned this much about a health service that I need. So let me just rather leave it. So there are inroads that we've made in terms of sensitization. There are facilities that are, I would say, LGBTI friendly, but then there's still a pushback from others. I think there's still a lot of work that still needs to be done. And we are grateful as an organization to have such a facility as a key pop hub, whereby it provides us a health safe space for our clients, whereby they can be able to come and get further services from.
Great. But here's my question now. I like that. And I think that is exactly what any other organization should do, to teach their employees that, they must be sensitized towards certain things, especially when it comes to someone else's health, because that's confidential, right? But tell me, have you seen an improvement over the years with that? Would you say there's really an improvement? Would you say people are now more comfortable sharing, their personal information or confidential information with a nurse or whoever is helping them? Do you think there is a change over the years, maybe in a period of 3 years, or do you feel like it's still the same?
I'll say there's a change. Just to name one facility here in Bloemfontein, Batu Clinic, I think we've had 2 sessions whereby there was a benchmarking trip from Zimbabwe, including World Health Organization and other prominent organizations within the health space, whereby they were able to identify it as one of the gay or LGBTI-friendly facilities within Mangaung or the province for that matter. And we've done some work with the facility whereby we've done sensitizations with the health care providers at that facility. So I would say the perception and attitudes of staff towards MSM and LGBTI people is gradually changing, even though the change might be slow, but then we've taken the step in the right direction.
I'm sorry, I'm just going to ask you one last question perhaps. Do you also have training of your staff? Because I do understand that some of them are not professional. When I say professional, I mean they're not professional nurses, So I'm not sure, what qualification perhaps or skills you're looking for, but they do end up working within the organization. And now these are the people that have access to the files of clients. So when I say client, I'm saying our MSM. These are our clients. So now obviously they're able to peruse through the file and they can read and whatsoever. But is there some sort of training, or I'm not sure what you guys could be doing, because these people are not professionals. But how do you then make sure that they keep this information as discreet as possible so that these MSM can be comfortable walking in knowing that even if they walk out, their information is safe and nobody else would know about it?
So I'll say, as an organization, obviously we take professionalism very seriously as Free State Embassies. We have our entry-level staff, which is your peer educators. That is the team that I'm leading. Yes. Obviously, you must have metric. You must have your peer education training. That includes your HIV pre- and post-test counseling. And then we also have, as an organization, our SOPs, which is standard operating procedures, that in order to do this, you must follow these protocols. So you don't just wake up and decide to do things as you wish. There are procedures in place so that we ensure confidentiality. We ensure that when our clients come to our organization, they feel safe and comfortable and know very well that whatever that was being discussed between me and the client stays between us. Unless I have to share it with a third party, I should get consent from the client.
Perfect. That's great. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. MSM mulligationing are different from MSM in the metropolitan, or rather metro cities, right? Because I think one would say metro cities is more welcoming and more accepting, and also because these are people that probably went to varsity or went to higher education institutions where perhaps they have been exposed to these people, or they've been exposed to information around such people, and perhaps they are more, like I said, tolerating, accepting, and they can deal with it. But qualificationing, we get baholo ba ileng gore they are traditional, they are conservative, and they still have that narrow mind. You know what? It's a woman, it's a man, and that's it. Men and a man, how do you utlwisisi? Women and women, how do you utlwisisi? Ke batla go itse gore Luna, what do you think perhaps we could do to make sure that even qualificationing, our great-grandparents, our grandparents, our parents and elder sisters and elder brothers are more welcoming and understanding that we do have MSM, and whether they are proud and out and about or whether they are discreet, they are existing. And now we really need to create sort of like an environment for them to feel it's a safe space for them to be themselves. Do you think perhaps there is anything that we can do to make sure that, that is feasible?
No, I think we need to have more sessions outside, inside the communities. We need to teach the community, our grandparents, our elderly people, and we need to teach them that there is this life now, MSM, there is this thing, MSM. Because sometimes it's not just stigma, it's lack of knowledge. They're not knowledgeable about what's going on. They think, okay, this thing does not go with our Christianity, our cultures, our traditions, our beliefs, our values. I think we just need more activations in the community. We need to let them know and inform them about this.
Great.
Yes.
Do you feel like these organizations, to mention a few, MeFest, Unmute Me, Beyond Zero, Rainbow Seeds, are they doing enough, or are they really trying? Just in your opinion, do you feel like, we are getting there? There's some sort of progress, because obviously Rome was not built in one day. So obviously we can't achieve everything all at once. But do you feel like the programs that they are doing, honestly, they do have an impact one way or another?
Yeah. I do think they do have an impact. Since we have a lot of MSMs, well, they are hiding, but they know about this. They know about these programs that have been created. And even our parents, some of our parents ask us about where's Rainbow Seeds? Where is this? Where is this? What does it do? They want to know more. And I think information is key. But I think the programs are doing enough. Okay. I think they're doing enough, in my opinion.
In your opinion?
Yes.
And you, Steve?
Well, I think they're doing enough in the cities, but they also need to do this in the rurals, because we're still behind in the rurals. I remember this one time I went to a ceremony. So I don't know where this conversation came from, but they were talking about guys living with other guys. And then this other old guy, understand into why the demon is. So I think if Rainbow Seeds and Beyond Zero can go to the rurals in Kongwangon.
So perhaps now our target should be the rurals and the disadvantaged, because that is where lack of information and lack of awareness is. And, as I opened my statement before I actually asked you the question, I did say that in metro cities, people are more understanding, and it seems like they've got information. There's a lot of awareness. They are aware that, oh, he's gay. I can tell you that where I stay in my complex, right, as a socialite and a social media influencer, these kids came to me as I was parking my car, and they said, "Hi, Anticle Lebo. What did they say? Hi, Anticle Lebo." I got distracted from there. Anticle, what are you talking about? Hi, Anticle Lebo, and this kid is holding a ball. "Hi, Anticle Lebo. I'm a very big fan of you from social media. I really like queer people. I'm talking about a 7 or 6 year old, And for me, Anticle Kaitwela, because I was going to get mad that, what is Anticle? But now the closing statement, I am supportive. And I actually do like queer people. It tells me that even at schools, we do have such awareness of the LGBTI community, which is including the MSM, right? So tell me now, let us get into enablers. We've spoken about
barriers.
Yes, barriers. We've spoken about barriers. So enablers. Do you think what are the enablers? What is it that these organizations are doing perhaps in order to make it so easy for any other MSM to get access of healthcare service, knowing that obviously confidentiality is maintained, and they just feel like, I can go there, get service or get help, whatever help that I get, and I know that I'll walk out being a happiest person, knowing that I don't have anything to worry about. What perhaps maybe if I may ask you, what are you guys doing to
I would say as an organization, as Free State Rainbow Seeds, we utilize each and every opportunity that is presented to us, and to work with like-minded partners and organizations to spread the word, because we are also about social cohesion as much as we are about promoting and protecting the rights of LGBTI. So we are present within the social media spaces. You can go to our Facebook page. We have media partners such as Central University of Technology FM, CUT-FM, whereby we are able to go there and talk about various topics that affect MSM and also how can they get our health services that we provide them. And we have a team on the ground that is able to interact with them within the community. And we also have other events and activities that we do within the community so that we're able to sensitize that there are MSM, and then we are saying to you, you just need to acknowledge. You just need to acknowledge that there are MSM who are living with them. And it's not something like is fashion yangoku. It's something that has been there, but then people were not comfortable to come out and embrace their sexuality.
And it is true when they say sexuality is fluid. I've been learning a lot of terms recently where people are just identifying themselves as they wish. And I'm not sure if it's a right thing, I'm not sure if it's allowed, but also respectfully, if I identify myself as a queer person, as a gay person, I would want another human being to respect me. Firstly, because I'm human, and secondly, because I respect them as equal. So it is not about my sexuality, right? I like that. I like the fact that we must also understand that I think MSM has always been there. Just that it has been discreet. It has been, people have been called after 9. It is a very common term, after 9. If you don't know it by now, I'm not sure where you are living. But look, MSM is more or less an after 9. But an MSM is not literally doing it only after 9. They're doing it whenever, wherever, however, right? And the only issue that perhaps we could be discussing right now is how comfortable are they to even identify as MSM? Because remember, people do not want to be identified, as I've said. They will do it, but they still say, I'm straight. I want to go back to my girlfriend, and I do have 2 kids, and that's it. But whenever they feel the desire to perhaps engage in a sexual intercourse with another man, they will do it. They will do it. But now tell me, do you think MSM is, and I want us to break this stigma, because I think a lot of people believe that they believe that sexuality is something you can educate a person into believing or into practicing, you know? So tell me, do you think if you are an MSM, it is something that is within you? Is it something that you can continuously do? Or also it could be a once-off thing because it's an experience and then we are done? And I'll tell you why I'm asking this question.
I would say from our experience as Nanding Akona from First Aid Rainbow Seeds, through the events and activities that we have with our clients. And remember, it's not only our clients sometimes. We call on men to have a body course. We have our clients also, just to break the ice. So that they talk about their challenges. No matter why we're not Akona Westabani, when we are at Buddha's place, Elokshini, when we are drunk, you come up to me, you know that I'm straight, but then you want to live with me. And then why we're not Tabo or straight, you would come up to me as a gay person at Buddha's place, say, I should buy you 2 beers, and then we're going to leave afterwards. And then afterwards, you don't live with me, you live with your girlfriend. What do you think that does to me? So we provide such platforms whereby they are able to interact and speak freely. And what we've come to discover is that men are able to be more open and talk when it's only men, whether they are MSM, they are gay identifying, or they are just straight and curious, or someone who says, yes, I'm a straight guy, but then I'm an ally.
Yes.
I understand, I'm an ally. So in such spaces, they are able to talk more freely. And I remember in one session we had last year, this guy said, sometimes we don't necessarily need a gay guy. We are comfortable in assisting ourselves as relief for Ritamaile Tabo, Tabiso, Tepo, and Hopulang, who identify as straight. And then Ritamaile Kobo, Hopulang, and then sort ourselves out. So it shows that there are certain trends that are happening on the ground, and that is why we have this team on the ground, so that we're able to pick up on such and say, okay, fine, what kind of interventions can we be able to assist in such?
I do realize that also, if the society could stop being judgmental, I think a lot of things could surface. I believe, we are not exposed to a lot of information. Perhaps also we lack experience because, some of these things, they happen to specific people. Like he mentioned, it happens in clubs or taverns, and you do get that, for somebody else, he would never be in a club or they never go to clubs. So they will lack that experience, So, but I still feel it boils down to being judged. Because if nobody would be judged, I'm sure we would understand and we would know that people can freely be themselves and they could experience whatever they want to experience with whoever, right? So now tell me, collocationing, is it really a thing to say the MSM, they practice this idea of sleeping with other men simply because there's a reward? Or do you think it's something they could willingly do even if there's no reward?
I would say some of them, they're not the same. Okay. Some of them, it's a reward to them. They expect something in return.
And that would be coming now from an openly queer person, I believe.
Yes.
So this would be a straight man who would be sleeping with an openly queer person and expecting a reward in return from a queer person. Yeah. Great. Okay, you may go on.
And then some is just an experience. It's just they want to explore.
So it could be a once-off thing.
It could be a once-off thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And then some, I believe they're just into that, but they don't want to come out. But it's difficult for them, but they want to experience. But they are not MSMs actually. They are trying to open up and come out of the closet. So it's a bit deeper with some of them.
With some of them. So some of them, you might find that they are not just MSM. Yeah. It's either they are gay, but they are just in a closet. They do not want to come out, or for one reason or another, they just can't come out. Or number two, they are bisexual. Yeah. So they can comfortably sleep with another man, even if there is no reward, simply because they feel the desire to do it, because that is who they are, and they don't expect anything in return. Great. Okay. So now that's interesting. And what do you feel about it? How do you feel about this?
Now from my experience, I once met this guy in a club, obviously. So he came to me. Hi, bro, you good? At Jan, right? And what you can take a beer, and then you're gonna go see you, have fun. So that was a fun. How? What you know we're gonna
shag.
Yeah. Like I won't try to look.
And this is a straight man.
It's a straight man. Okay. And a girlfriend. The corner above. You see, the girlfriend is inside. You know, I don't do such things. I'm here to have fun and young into, not for bandy. So actually, no man, it's not changes in Sanjalo. Like if they're funa, they tell you something and then they do funa. So that I'm not those guys and I experience alone. So yeah.
Digei tlogela nthe batho ma modimo la bona re la sengeletsa yanong le tlabeletsa ba shimane e bile ba rekela dikhoto tse pedi a le fetsa bile ba promise chelete. So ha ba bona di-gay tse di innocent di have fun ba go targeta ba today o tla rekela 2 kilo mo giver a ke tso mo giver o tla nniga wa bona ke problem e serious. That is why re tlhoka di MSM, because problem ya ka ke gore MSMing, I think MSM also do not understand, which is very, very important that we do educate them. But the gay ones off, especially unprotected sex, they don't want to follow up with that. You know, you know what? I got gay like I did a condom my shop. How we to gay. How mo prepping, how dirisa condom, you had a sexual intercourse, a queer person, and for that matter, because we're expecting a reward. So, the program Lebo Molax, Rainbow Seeds, Beyond Zero, they are trying to say, guys, we do have a space for you, not only to give you condoms or to give you tests and whatever, but also to come and talk about this. Because if you really want to open up, you need more information about this. We are here to say, look, let's have a chat. What do you think? What do you experience? How do you feel? What do you want to do? You know, because you might not feel comfortable sharing this information with your friend simply because you'll be judged. So, but to MSM, bone ba batla gore di gay ba ba fe di reward gore bone ba ba tlovoze. But to mamodimo ra go bua leng taba ya gore di MSM le tsone di batla go tlovoziwa. Because I mean, ya dira gala gore moshimane a tsene a tsamaile gay a bona gore gay o tsintse moriri. Gay is hasitse eyebrow. Gay is into manala. Mar ha ba tsena ko beteng a be a jika. Are Do no side. So what do you guys think about this? Have you guys experienced it? Your friends, perhaps? Is it something that's happening? Is it common in the society?
I would say it's very much common because you get guys. I'm a queer person. I'm gay. I identify as gay. There was this one incident. And the guy, when you look at him, he's Marco, he's masculine, and you are expecting him.
Yes.
Get there, and then the guy,
He's a wide receiver. Wide receiver. A whole straight man that has a girlfriend and 3 kids. It happens. It happens.
And now the tricky part is that most of them don't want to use condoms. And you'd get instances whereby one is presenting with STIs, goes to the facility, but then the nurse is expecting you are presenting with STIs, it's supposed to be down here. But then it's not down here, it's back there. Then questions arises.
Even no, it does happen. It does. Have you been in such an encounter, perhaps, as well?
Multiple times.
Multiple times. Please share it with us.
So I think I met this guy on Facebook. Yeah, that's Facebook, obviously.
Yeah?
Yeah. So he was married. Sorry, girl. So as it started a conversation, fine. So it got to a point where I was like umpanning. And then he sent that emoji. Yeah, yes, mos. Aibo. And then I was shocked. Kaloku sana dinsang. But no umpanning lewe. And I told him blocker. And then omnye ke ngoku. Met ke estratweni. And then sithetha ndayifumana conversation iya kwenye icala. Okay, fine, I recopani muthu rebuwe. And then it got to a point where no Riako, that other side. I find I tell me fitle go. Aibo son.
Flip flop.
Aibo njani?
Wait, what's happening? Exactly.
Wathi kuthuma abo njani thumi kaloku sana. Ayibereke njalo yebo. Yeah, so
great. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, boys and girls, thank you so much for joining in. Of course, the mere first barriers and enablers for the health service uptake episode is brought to you by Beyond Zero. If you need more information on the Me First program, please do call us. It's a toll-free helpline. 08000 60038, or please do send us a message on our social media. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, boys and girls, lovers and hounds, gays, trans, etc. Like I get LGBTIQ plus. Kalerata lele potokhaning, lele tshwarakhaneng nkare dombi yako maraba stats. Till then, keep well.
This podcast is brought to you by Beyond Zero for its adolescent and young people's program, Men Who Have Sex with Men program, and transgender program. We are Beyond Zero.